Welcome back to the program. So it looks like President Trump is likely going to get his Greenland deal and get it done pretty quick. It's kind of amazing, huh? He goes to Davos, he takes over Davos, he brings a huge coalition of folks, a lot of people from his cabinet, and they are the talk of the town completely. All those globalists, all those world leaders, all those people, and Trump literally takes over all of Davos. And again, as I said before, he's the only president that has actually went to Davos, right? And so basically, he told everybody exactly what is on his mind. He doesn't care what they think. He's just going to tell it like it is, and I love that about him. So apparently, here's some of the details that could be part of this Greenland deal that, well, they're kind of leaking out, let's just say. They're not all over the place, that's for sure. So here's what we got. The United States will be able to buy sovereign base areas inside Greenland that will become legal U.S. territory forever. That's right, forever. These will be the terms of a, quote, NATO brokered deal at Davos. A, quote, framework for a future deal negotiated in meetings at the Davos summit in Switzerland this week will see the United States get a sovereign base area modeled on Britain's military bases on the island of Cyprus. While those bases are not on the British mainland, the UK owns approximately 3% of the island in two enclaves, which are legally and internationally recognized as British territory. So let's see. Several officials who it says were present in the Trump NATO meetings talking about America's need to enhance its Arctic security and position on Greenland say that the, quote, deal unveiled by President Trump is in the makings of a Cyprus-style deal. One is said to have called it basically based on the Cyprus-British concept, and the other is reported to have called the framework modeled on Britain's bases in Cyprus. British conservative broadcast The Daily Telegraph, I wouldn't really call it conservative, cites its own source in the meetings who told the paper that the deal would stop short of a complete sale of the entire Greenland island to the United States, but would instead involve those sovereign base areas based on that model. If the American enclave in Greenland were large and well-sited enough, the report states, the sovereign nature would mean that there could be nothing stopping the United States from using the land to also prospect for mineral wealth, as well as using it to secure America's national security. Indeed, if the United States managed to buy just 1% of Greenland, a country that is statistically speaking essentially uninhabited beyond a dozen towns, it would give America a sovereign base area nearly the size of the entire state of Maryland. As reported, President Trump hailed the deal on Wednesday, although he didn't give away too many details about what it would be and what was involved in this deal. He did say that, quote, the terms would be forever. So it's not a lease anymore, and that the other parties to it would be, quote, involved in the Golden Dome, and they're going to be involved in the mineral rights. And you know what? They should be. We should be able to extract those mineral rights, and we should give some of that absolutely to the people of Greenland. Absolutely. There's no reason why we should hoard it all, and we should make Greenland wealthy. Absolutely. And who knows? Maybe the population will increase. Perhaps maybe they'll build more areas and more towns and things like that. This could be really good. Could be really, really good. So this is a pretty awesome update here. President Trump said the deal gets everything we needed to get. It's a deal that everyone is very happy with. And you know what the best part is? That it's a forever deal, but we're not, quote unquote, taking Greenland. In other words, we don't want you to be the 51st state. We don't want you to be voting in our elections. We don't want you to have House seats. We don't want you to have Senate seats. Stay there. Stay there. Enjoy the cold. Whatever. Let's just protect you, NATO, Denmark, and the entire Greenland Arctic region and area. It's really just that simple. And so in a lot of respects, if this deal goes through as they're talking about, it's very similar, honestly, to the 1951 agreement. I would say the only difference is that the 1951 agreement was a lease. In other words, and I didn't know that, and I'll be honest, I'm admitting that. And so that's when President Trump said at Davos that because it's a, quote, lease, who wants to protect a property that you're just leasing, right? It's kind of like renting a house, okay? I'm a homeowner with a mortgage, so I wouldn't know, but I was in the mortgage industry for many years. And it's kind of like if you were to rent a really nice house, right? Would you then go and spend, I don't know, thousands and thousands of dollars if your landlord allowed you to? Would you go spend thousands and thousands of dollars to redecorate, repaint, remodel, change the flooring, change the carpet? I mean, would you spend like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on something that you don't own? You'd be stupid to, right? So again, do we want to secure an area that we are basically leasing? No, we don't. And so this doesn't go as far as, quote, giving us like total ownership of Greenland, but that's okay. We don't need it. As I said before, we don't need it. But it allows us, and in the language of the deal, it allows us to forever, that's the important part, forever secure the area and build as many military bases as we need. And I think ultimately that is the best scenario that could have been, right? I think it is, because we don't want to own it. Why would we want to own it? What would be the point of owning it? Because then if we own it, it's now part of the United States, which of course the left will be immediately going, whoa, whoa, we need new senators, we need House seats. Who knows? They'd probably send a whole bunch of Democrats there and turn the island into a hellhole like they do with everything else. So I'm glad that we don't, quote, own it and run it and operate it. So then President Trump says, I think it's going to be a very good deal for the United States and also for them, and we're going to work together on something having to do with the Arctic as a whole and also Greenland. It has to do with security, great security. It's a little bit complex, but we'll explain it down the line. The Secretary General of NATO and I and some other people were talking, and it's kind of a deal that I wanted to be able to make, so I'm happy. The United Kingdom operates 2 military bases on the island of Cyprus, Akrotiri, if I pronounce that right, in the south, and Dhekelia in the east. Cyprus was once part of the British Empire and gained its independence from London in 1960, but the highly strategic bases were considered too important to lose, and the British government handed over all of the islands to the Cypriots, I guess that's what they're called, except for the military bases. And so there you have it. So we're going to be able to eventually mine for rare earth minerals in Greenland. So now we've secured a major thing right there, because we are now keeping China, who are the world leaders in rare earth minerals and certainly in extraction, which I've explained throughout the months or whatever. We've been talking about this. But now we have tons and tons of minerals underneath that ice. It's down there. It's 100 feet down, so it's not going to be, 2 seconds and we pull them up. I mean, it's going to take a lot to do it, but at least China can't get to it. We're going to build multiple, I think they already said another 4 to 6 more military bases in Greenland, which of course are going to have missile defense capabilities and all this. So this is a wonderful, wonderful development. And I just hope and pray that they get this thing done, signed, sealed, delivered, so that we don't have to worry about a future nuclear attack coming in from, China, Russia, or whatever, coming into the United States from Greenland. And of course, when you add the Golden Dome into the mix, it's going to protect all of that area. And thankfully, President Trump had the vision to see into the future and realize that there was a gaping national security risk and hole that he had to sew up and fill. And thankfully, he has done that. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.